As a reminder, we are in fact the first photographers to ever take film photos in Iceland. We're here for 7 days, which means we can only see about 16 space churches. This is our drive. Some notable things to point out: good pizza here, Puffins, space dongs, good pizza here, space church, average pizza here, and they're out of avocados in the entire north of the country, which I guess that's fine. Here in Iceland, every Airbnb comes with a Kodak portrait garden. Behind me, you'll find ours. These rolls begin at ISO 160 and they ripen into 400 and 800 very quickly. Let's see if any are ready for picking. Our crop is coming along nicely. Portrait 400 here. This appears to be a Portrait 800, 120 roll, so that's ready for picking. Another Portrait, that's 400, we'll leave that for another day. And Portrait 800. With our film harvested, we're now ready for some sunset photography. Then, as Iceland does, the weather got immediately terrible. Wow, 90 perfectly frames the Icelandic phallus. Yeah. First rule of photography, don't fall over. Second rule of photography, find good light. Today, we have no light. We've come into the cave. Whoa, Kenny. And I'm switching my 120 medium format roll out to Portrait 800, which we grew in the garden earlier.
Portrait 800.
All right, here we go. And boom goes dynamite. No sunset, no light. Color film, maybe a mistake, maybe not a mistake. Oh, yeah. Standing up this week on photographing space dongs in Iceland. We photographed space dongs one more time, now with Portrait 800. I feel like we should help. I'm a spicy boy, boy. I'm a spicy boy, boy. Marshall, did you know that when I was a young boy, my father took me to the city to see a marching band? He said, "Son, when you grow up, will you be the savior of the broken, the beaten, and the damned? Because one day I'll leave you a phantom to lead you in the summer to join the Black Parade."
Sometimes I get the feeling she's watching over me. Cut.
The Leica M6 is the camera that has been finding the most use on our trip so far. I've been using the 35mm f2 Summicron the most. It is, I think, the V3 of it. It is made in Canada, actually. I thought that was very interesting. I have the 35 and the 50 of it. I didn't bring the 50 on this trip. I love the fact that Leica designs lenses that are amazing and they're that small. I also have the 90 f4 that I've been using way more than I thought. I wasn't even gonna bring it. I borrowed this from BJ Photo, our local camera shop, and I am so happy that I did because I've used it probably almost half the time. And then also with me, I have the 28 f2.8, which is another amazing lens. I also have two filters with me. I haven't shot any black and white film on the Leica yet, but I do have a yellow filter. I would say the most general useful filter for black and white photography. Basically what it's going to do is it's going to, here at least, it's going to bring the greens up a little bit so you actually can see some lightness in the greens and it's just not going to crush it all together in kind of the shadows. You could actually use a green filter if you wanted, but I find that it feels a little too aggressive. Yellow, kind of more general filter. And I also have this 10-stop ND, and it's funny because it's in this big case and then you reveal it as this tiny 39mm filter. And this is for if I want to photograph some waterfalls and I want to get that really long, slow shutter speed. That's the Leica kit. Let's get back to the Iceland. So we've just checked into our Airbnb and they didn't really mention that there were no doors or windows or furniture. or beds. There's a bit of a bed down there. 35 millimeter. Wants to use the flash. Not gonna let you use the flash. There we go. And that's what we call a natural frame.
Frames.
Frames.
Do you use natural frames? Frames.
Frames.
Interlinked.
Interlinked.
Our technology and creative.
I'm really far away. This is a good stop. Oh, this is a good wall. I don't know if that's a photo. Onward, Marshall. This is the Fuji GA645. W stands for wide. The non-wide version of this is a great portrait camera. It's basically a point and shoot medium format camera. Very easy to take with you. And we're gonna load some Portra 400 in this. Load up the 40 3D3. I think it sounds like a video game. Did it. The film that we're using on this trip over here is the black and white. Over here is the color. Black and white film 400 triax will be the most used on this trip. It will be in my Canon AE-1 bonus black and white film, this Cinestill black and white 120 roll. Maybe get to that, maybe not, I don't know. Other bonus films, some more black and white, Lomo film, and this purple film. No idea if I'll use this, probably not. Moving into color films, Portra 400 will be likely the main film I'm using this entire trip, as well as Portra 800 whenever I run out of 400, because I only had so much 400. And then I have two color positive films, Ektachrome 100, E100, as well as a number of rolls of Provia. I don't know why I brought so many, but I have a lot of rolls of this. I have very few rolls of this, I think 2 or 3. And then in the medium format camera, I will be using Portra 400 and 800. And it is primarily because I don't believe that I am the most skilled at manually metering, and these have a lot of latitude. The lab, Richard Photo Lab, can fix my errors to make my photography look professional. I also have this Ilford disposable camera. I have one more, and I'm maybe gonna get to it. I don't know, we'll see over the trip. Cheers. Do you mind if I film the hot dog creation process? There are a few foods that I will travel the world for. They are foods that seem simple, but only exist in one place. The Icelandic hot dog is one of them. Rather than the North American style blend of discount meats, the Icelandic hot dog is made primarily of high quality Icelandic lamb. Get it with everything: crispy onions, regular onions, ketchup, remoulade, and brown mustard. Readily available at every gas station and coming in at around $3. Compare that to the expensive as fuck pizza that'll cost you somewhere between $30 to $40. You're having your 10 hot dogs for pizza. That's the type of math you're gonna find on a middle school test. Is that everything, guys? Oh, this video is sponsored by Icelandic hot dogs. Get yours in Iceland today. Shout out to Ryan Reynolds and Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Hello, yes, I'd like to rent a camper van. Okay, cool, here's your camper van. Ooh, do you have anything with something else on the side? Hello, let's have a combo of 3. 1 Gordita Crunch, Mountain Dew. You says got those cinnamon twist things? Yeah, one of those, that's fine. That's everything. Thank you. Oh, wait.
Vic is a city that's, well, we'll call it a 3-hour drive from the airport, and I would 100% recommend that you rent your own car and you drive out this way. The first time that I came to Iceland, I spent way too much time in Reykjavik, the major city, and it is an incredible city, but at the end of the day, it's a city. You didn't come to Iceland to just experience city life. Vic is a little bit smaller. That has the conveniences. It has a grocery store and gas station and a few places to eat, but with a population of maybe around 400 or 500 people, you definitely feel like you're in a smaller city. So this camera has become the black and white camera. So for the rest of the trip, until I change my mind, the AE-1 will be shooting 400 TX. The first shot in this roll. Canon R6. You can't hear me. The microphone's going now. Is this weather sealed? That's cool, I like the square format. And I'm going to find Ektachrome. Ektachrome will typically give me a blue/purple kind of cast. It's also color positive film, so today it's kind of perfect because there's not a whole lot of dynamic range in the scene. If there was a lot of dynamic range, Ektachrome honestly handles highlights pretty well, but you just don't have as much play as something like Portra 400 where you can kind of do whatever you want to the film. I feel like this is the shot right here though. But it wasn't the shot because Taylor loaded the film incorrectly and it jammed.
Oops.
So we jammed the film here, which unfortunately means that I thought I took 36 exposures, but I actually took one exposure right here over and over and over again. And as you can see, it's now been exposed to daylight. So womp womp. We just checked into our Airbnb and it's literally a fully functioning B&B that we have access to. So Alex has decided that we're going to do a resale on some of the rooms. So if you're interested in coming to stay in room 102 or room 101, come on by. We're here in Vic, and
Welcome.
Alex will take your money.
My password's right here if you need it.
How much for an evening?
We're looking at about $800 a night.
$800 a night. That seems reasonable. Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah,
good.
great.
But you got a great view of Vic, so.
All right, and this chair. Cinestill 50D is a film that I have not shot before, and again, a shout out to Grainy Days Jason, aka Baxter's dad, aka the Film Goblin, for the recommendation on this. This turned out to be one of my favorite rolls from the entire trip, including my favorite photo from the entire trip, which you'll see in just a moment. It's not that one, but I do like that photo. It's coming at the end of this segment. And now the grand reveal, my favorite photo from the entire trip, right here. Didn't even jam the film this time. We'll be going pro next week. To switch gears entirely here for a minute, tourism in Iceland has had a really interesting progression since the early 2000s. We covered this in a show we did for Nikon. You can watch it on my channel if you want. But the most interesting part, I feel like, is this clip. How do you think Instagram has played a role in tourism here? I feel like photographers almost kind of led the first wave.
I think it definitely did, but at the same time, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everything was kind of popping up at the same time as Iceland was getting more and more famous, you can say.
The tourism is the biggest industry in Iceland now. The fishing is number 2. The fishing was number 1 before. When the bank crisis happened, you know, then of course they were talking about it in the news all over the world.
Iceland got hit hard in 2008. Here's world famous photographer Manny Ortiz in Los Angeles to explain.
Say I want you to give me $100 so that I can buy a new lens. If I say I'll pay you $105 back in a month, you probably pass. But if I say I'll give you $150 back, we'd probably have a deal.
This is what the Icelandic banks were doing, offering incredible interest rates to foreign investors that were completely unsustainable and spending all their money. Here's Irene in a hot tub to explain the rest.
Now a month goes by and the lens still hasn't generated any cash. I still owe you money, so I find another friend and make a deal to borrow money I owe you from them. Maybe I pay that $225 to borrow the $150, and next month I'll spend $300 to borrow that $225 from someone else.
You can see why this is a bit of a problem, borrowing more money to pay back old debt, creating a huge bubble that was ready to explode. When the bubble did pop, it had a surprising outcome. Yes, foreign investors lost their money, but it brought a lot of worldwide media attention to Iceland. Through social media, a lot of people were now seeing stock photos of Iceland for the first time ever. And because of the bank collapse, it was wildly inexpensive to travel here. And as they say, no press is bad press.
That was 2008, but that was first after the eruption in Eyjafjallajökull, the volcano, 2010. And then it started.
And now we're back on this much less professional trip.
So there's a big fashion thing going on here in Iceland, and it's a thing that tourists get when they go to the store and they say, hey, I'm going to Iceland. So the store's like, oh, you need these adventure pants. And there's these pants that are like waterproof, and they have like a reinforced like knee section, or they have like a black part that goes down here.
Adventure pants. We are on our way to do some more film photography.
You could probably like
at two waterfalls. Should be closer.
No, not that close. Like you can take it out of the frame.
We are on our way to do some more film photography at two waterfalls that you have certainly heard of and seen before. Thousands and thousands of photos probably in your lifetime. And we're just kind of looking for good light on either of them. And I think we're too early for Skogafoss, so we may continue on and kind of see what the lighting situation is at the next waterfall, and then return to Skogafoss and potentially even climb the steps if Marshall is feeling up to the challenge. He has consumed 16 hot dogs today, which is a Marshall dozen. We have narrowly, we maybe have 3 minutes. It's a large bus, large tour bus. We maybe have like 5 minutes of light. We might not even have 5 minutes of light. I think that the Sunseeker app was a little bit off with where it placed the sun, but that's okay. Taylor Jackson reporting here live on location at Skogafoss. We've unfortunately missed all of the light on Skogafoss. We saw it as we were rolling up. It's really windy, and unfortunately, I don't know, maybe another time. Leica M6, the 28mm f2.8. My settings are 1/1000th of a second, f4 at Portra 400. These two blend nicely into the landscape. They very much match their clothing to the rocks and the falls. Unfortunately, they're directly in my shot. So that photo's straight up big whatever, but fortunately, this got us out of the house and put us on the correct road to end up at this photograph, something so magnificent that Marshall wouldn't even get out of the car to help film it. This is him sitting in the passenger seat. This is me with a Fujifilm GA645W. And this is an image that I like a lot.
Talking about you. No. Yeah, you. We have the full insurance package, except for the undercarriage, and tires aren't covered. Like the fitness whole bread in my mouth. Reykjavik. How do you say it?
It's pronounced rich bitch juice.
It's pronounced rich bitch juice. It's a pink gin.
Shout out ALG.
Who's that?
In the kettle, we're making some amazing local delicacies. Potato snack pot, bacon and onion. And what do you got?
I got the chow mein.
Marshall's is looking pretty good. Mine, I don't know. Pro tip, bring a full power bar whenever you travel, so you can charge only Marshall's drone because you only brought phone cameras that don't require charging. Marshall, would you like to have a little black death?
What is this black death you keep talking about?
Try it on.
Why don't they classify it as like a gin or a vodka or something? Is this the same stuff we put in the truck? This is ethanol, isn't it? E85? I only drink high test.
Don't smell it, just drink it.
Oh, there it is. What is that, man? What is that?
Alex, your shot of Black Death is here. Cheers, man.
And like if you're just putting hamburger in a tagine. Would you like the burger tagine? Okay, we are rolling.
You ever drink Bailey's from a shoe? Today, the comparison that you've always been waiting for. The Fujifilm medium format point and shoot GA645W versus this bag of paprika flavored potato chips. Which is better? Find out over the next minute. The Fuji GA645 is a point and shoot medium format camera. It's very simple to load the film, it's very simple to use. These are some of the images that were taken on this camera on this trip. And yeah, that's all. I guess we have to finish the comparison, right? And this is the paprika flavored potato chips. Let's see which is better, the potato chips or the Fuji GA645W. Potato chips are great, but I would probably recommend if you're looking for a camera to take photos, to go for this and not the potato chips. Although both do serve their purpose, so maybe make the decision that's correct for you. But my decision here is probably the Fuji GA645W. One of my dreams has always been to golf in Iceland, but I don't want to do it in the summer. I want to come here in the winter when it is even more hostile conditions. Because I think it's going to be way funnier. So look forward to that in a new video, golfing in Iceland in the winter. If anyone wants to come, let me know in the comments, because none of my friends are going to want to come. This is a nice course though. It opens with a par 6. So it's a par 6, 600 meter par 6, but you have like I'm going to call that a 50 kilometer an hour backwind. So as soon as you put the ball up, it's just going to go. So that par 6 is probably more like a par 3. It's also in meters, it's not in yards.
Right.
They're pretty close, right?
Yeah.
They actually put volcanic ash on the butter. Volcanic ash is very healthy for you.
Who's telling you this thing?
All right, here we have the traditional Icelandic lamb soup. Marsha wanted to go for the Thai curry, was it? You get this, you get the $20 lamb soup.
I assume lamb is just roadkill here.
Today's the day. Great yogurt, by the way. Do a shot of you. Stay where you are. This is 90. Oh, let's do a cave talk. Here we are in the cave, Volcanic, with Fuji 400H. Fuji 400H is the film that my digital presets are all modeled after. A photographer by the name of Jose Villa from Southern California kind of turned me on to the Fuji 400H look. I'm gonna say maybe 2008, 2009. So as you may know, this film stock has been discontinued, which means there are no future rolls of 400H. So anything that exists now exists. Most of it is already leaning towards expiry. I had used all of my rolls of 400H, and Joel Percy at BJ Photo in Waterloo, the local camera shop that I shop at all the time, had one remaining roll that he offered to me to come out to make this video. So shout out to Joel. So go follow him on Instagram and enjoy the rest of the video.
I'm sweating. Yeah. In 2010, thought I was doing something. And now I'm rapping with a crew or something. I guess the track don't really stick unless he's gluing something. And I never fit the shoe until I do it something. Yo, bracing myself like teeth, boy, it's the same old route on some new concrete. But homie, these tunes make you get a new ID. I'm trying to do my thing, but the commute ain't cheap. I'm on a 2-day week for all this rap these days, and we can still pitch the track to all the whack DJs. We're singing happy days, wearing tacky J's, and I'm just pumped that I made it out my nappy phase. Let's go. We can turn the whole world around. I'm in the backseat, really trying to hold it down. And if you up now from the lost and found, and get your hands up high and your shoulders down, and said we could turn the whole world around. I'm in the backseat, really trying to hold it down. And if you up now from the lost and found, and put your hands up high and your shoulders down, and said about time that I get back. Yo, I'ma get back. We can hold it down.
I have seen glaciers before, but I've never been able to walk up to them. Marshall has opted to fly from on top of the vehicle rather than a perfectly flat surface over here that is not metal. Now he has to do the drone dance. Absolute pandemonium. Not only is it the busiest parking lot I've ever seen here, there's also not a whole lot of icebergs. Usually it is very much an iceberg parking lot out here. And yeah, I would say that this is 1/10, maybe even less of the normal population of bergs out here. We got some over here. Today we're on set of our new action romance comedy, Viking Christmas special. It's also an app. Hey Marshall.
Hey, what's new?
I'm just really sick of going on raids.
Why?
They're all so far away.
Okay.
It's always windy and wet and raining.
Fine, you stay home. We'll go on the raid without you. We don't really need you. It's fine.
We decided to make the entire set out of paper mache, which in retrospect, it's a little too wet here for that type of material.
That's a Viking high-reach fork truck. Got the big tires on it too.
Checked into our Airbnb here in Hof, and our host left us a wonderful gift. Hope you're prepared for it. Here it comes. Chocolate and Pringles. That's it, that's the story. Sorry if you're expecting something more dramatic. I'm starting to think that I may have overestimated the amount of film that I needed to bring. This might be significantly more than I'll get to this trip.
Adventure pants, adventure pants.
Alright, can we see the guy?
That guy knows how to party. Well, that's dramatic. Looks good.
The Contax T3 is a camera, it's a point and shoot camera, and one that I have been using on this trip. I haven't been using it as much as I thought that I would have. I love the idea of having just a small point and shoot that you can actually put inside of your pocket and that has pretty much the best quality that you can get out of any point and shoot that's ever been made. It's 35mm Zeiss lens and it's really incredible. But what I found on this trip specifically is that I have so many cameras that kind of overlap that I haven't been using it as much. So here are some images that I've taken with it, and yeah, that's the Contax T3 talk.
That was it?
If you've ever wondered what the greatest sounding truck in the world is, it is this truck here. We're off to Oxy, RIP Juice WRLD. I am titanium. Last night we were researching a few things to do along our drive today, and it actually changed the entire course of the trip and ended up bringing us to my favorite city of this entire trip that I had never been to, never even heard of, and absolutely cannot pronounce. In this city, allegedly, you can get up to 1 meter away from a puffin, and that sounded pretty cool. It's late season. We didn't know how many puffins were still around, but we figured roll the dice and drive up there. One of Iceland's main exports is actually marshmallows, so if you're in your grocery store at home and you see some marshmallows, know that they probably came from Iceland. We've just discovered a brand new Icelandic landmark, Icelandic Mount Rushmore, behind me here. It's not on any maps. You're not gonna find this if you search on the internet. You gotta come to us to bring you the best. Next up, more excitement. We've located the most cliche film photography object that I've ever seen. A rusty boat, a rusty wooden boat out of the water against a backdrop of rust and sheet metal. It's kind of amazing. I'm using the 28mm f2.8 and I'm going to say the word tones over and over again while I photograph this boat. So I found for sure my favorite composition so far of the trip, and I'm hoping that the 90 is exactly what I need. I got Marshall to test it out on the R6 here, and he says that 70 is just a little bit too short. So I'm hoping that this comes together perfectly. Do I see an Icelandic Ron Swanson? I think I do. I'm pretty excited to relive my middle school years with this experience at our hotel tonight. Marshall brought all of his equipment to play a show tonight for the...
Do you want to see my view? Beautiful rolling hills and a big black marshmallow and one barbecue.
What do the marshmallows taste like, the black ones?
Black licorice.
Today, we're in a small fishing village in Iceland. I have with me the Leica M6. We're shooting Ektachrome 100. Let's go, shoot a roll. One roll. You know the rules? It's not that show. I'm honestly really happy that we found our way to this town. This wasn't on the original plan, and the walks just around town have been some of my favorite of the entire trip. I also like the fact that there is one singular tour bus that kind of comes into this town. I'm assuming in the summer and Puffin season it's a lot busier, but this time of year there's really no one around. The entire city just looks like a movie set. After a few hours here, I'm starting to realize that every single individual element was placed here by a set designer, and just the photographic opportunities here are really kind of weirdly endless. Perfect parking by the tour bus. Lots of room, lots of room. We're here on the east side of Iceland. I've changed from my Predator color jacket to something a little more appropriate. We're here to see some puffins. Puffin season definitely ended 2 or 3 weeks ago, But we did see some at Black Sand Beach, and we're hoping to see a few here. Usually when you're seeing puffins, they're up on cliffs. Apparently here you can kind of walk right up to there. They got the little puffin holes just kind of all around, and there's a little boardwalk. We were here earlier, we saw no puffins, but then we searched on Google and it says that puffins are either active in the morning around 7 a.m. or around 1800 hours, 6 p.m. So we're here, it is 5:55, so we're right on time. So I'm hoping the puffins are on time as well, or they've just all left this area, which would be unfortunate, but let's go find out. We've been being here for about 35 seconds. We watched a puffin go into a hole, and he or she emerged with their puffin friend. Did a little photo shoot, and then back in their nest. That was pretty cool. Puffins, the corgis of the sky.
This is funny as hell too, like the noise he makes, like starts to get indigestion after eating like too much mandarin. Like, go away.
I challenge you to find a more Icelandic scene than this. A dog eating a fish. Hey, brother.
Oh, you have like a full fish, dude.
Maybe this scene is more Icelandic. As you've seen throughout the video, the truck scene in this country is really absolute next level. This truck included. And this is Marshall's first buffet since the world got a bit weird. He feels very comfortable, you can see it in his eyes. This is my white wine because I'm allergic to barley, a true failure to the human race.
Apparently there's a dessert buffet coming up after the concert.
Bárur smáar rísa, flykkjast heim að fögru landi ísa, á fóstur jarðar minnar strönd og klífu. Ó heilsið öll, heimarómi blíðu hæ. Og sutt í drottins ást og friði, kissið þér bárur, bát á fiskimiði, blásið þér vindar, hlýtt á kinnum fríðu.
Then Marshall and I went to find drinks at another restaurant in town. There's only 3 restaurants in town. There it is. Do you feel like you're in a high school auditorium?
Yeah.
So we discovered why it smells like a high school gymnasium.
Got mine. Perfect.
Where was it?
In the gym.
Good morning, Marshall. Hey, finally, toothpaste that you can eat. Great. Just what I've been waiting for. Got some eggs. Got some oats. Got Marshall. Brother. The oats. I had a few frames left in the Provia roll, so I figured I would take some accidentally out of focus images of some objects around the hotel. Very out of focus, this guy. What we're going to be doing here is a traditional Marshall sits here and flies his drone while we drive up this pass to get some really nice windy road driving shots. I'm sitting here. I just feel... I think to really sell this, we need to be on a dirt road. Now we look like true adventurers in a Toyota RAV4. We are on our way to a place called Lemon. which got a great recommendation from Jason.
I've got some good news and I've got some bad news for you. The good news is I have found the best smoothie in the entire goddamn world. The bad news, it will literally ruin all other smoothies for you.
And rather than actually navigating to a city, we're just gonna navigate right to the smoothies. So let's go. 3 hour and 41 minute drive to smoothies. We're pretty committed at this point.
Did he recommend a certain smoothie?
Number 4, which is called the Vanilla Flirt or something cheesy like that. Though the only thing this smoothie is flirting with is my bank account, as I'm prepared to empty it and sell all my cameras for more smoothies. The first sip of this stuff that I had, I passed out for 12 seconds and had to go lay down. I'm honestly not being paid to endorse the crap out of them, but Lemon, if you're watching, call me.
We're 3 hours and 41 minutes away from enjoying our first lemon smoothie. Shout out Jason. Shout out Lemon. Shout out Machine Gun Kelly. The musician, not the criminal. Found something that reminds me of a photo that is maybe, at least to my knowledge, the most expensive photo ever sold. And it is a very simple photo that involves a very simple subject, which is water, fresh water. Humans, I feel like when we see a photo of fresh water, we just like it a little bit more because we're subconsciously attracted to fresh water. Mountains too. We did an interview with Trey Ratcliffe a couple years ago in New Zealand where he kind of talked about the pillars of what make a very attractive image that you don't know why you like it, but you just like it. And a lot of the human elements such as fresh water and mountains to see distance and trails and pathways and roads to know that there's some sort of safety all kind of contribute to just people liking images and not knowing why. This photo here I feel like is maybe one of those. Green grass, fresh water, little mountains in the background, and I'm going to shoot this on Provia. I've actually changed my mind. Since the composition is really, really nice, I'm actually going to go for larger resolution. So Richard Photolab has some larger negatives to scan from to make my masterpiece come to real life. And then it'll sell in auction for $42 billion, and I'll retire and just continue doing the exact same thing we're doing right now. As a general PSA for Iceland, don't step on the moss. Walk around the moss, find spaces to not stand on the moss because your feet will kill the moss. And the moss is nice. Look at how nice that is. It's nice moss. And it wasn't long before we had another distraction on the way to smoothies. Here we are at a genuine Icelandic fart hole. So it certainly doesn't smell good here, but the photographic opportunities, very nice. Macro bug photographic opportunities also very nice. I would consider this place to be the opposite of what an essential oil is. Alright, that's all for the Icelandic farty boys. On to our lemon smoothies. I want to give Richard Photolab another quick shout out here because they absolutely nailed my preferences. This is a scan that they gave me. There was nothing that I would do to that image. There was nothing that I would do to change it whatsoever. I might say that this is the nicest color for Land Rover. It's quite beautiful. We're here at Lemon. And then an absolute disaster. After 4 hours of driving, we have arrived at Lemon for smoothies, but unfortunately they were out of avocado, which means they could not make the number 4 vanilla flirt. Fortunately, there is another Lemon just closer to our hotel, so we are going to enjoy our Elvis and then head over there. This Lemon, we're hoping, has avocado. There's avocado on the sign.
They're out of avocados too.
So we'll never get... He's laughing at us through the window.
There's no avocados at all on the island. It says that there's an avocado shortage.
After being denied our smoothies we headed to the liquor store.
Adventure Pants.
The human slider, Marshall Angus.
Adventure Pants.
What we have here is your quintessential boat scene. Reflections, if you want to get a tripod out and do a longer exposure, you definitely could, and the water would become almost completely reflective. You can also just shoot it off your cell phone. Use your cell phone as a reflective surface, right? We're not going to do either of those today. We're just going to take the photo. Oh, hi there. I've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. A protein pancake.
Oh, sweet. Oh, it feels like a pancake. What is that?
How many Puffins out of 10?
3.
Here we are in our Icelandic fishing village. There is no one around. We are right across the street from Spankin' U Hoff, which is a great business name. And we found the most red thing that we could find to talk about this Canon AE-1. This was my dad's, or this I guess maybe still is. If he wants it back, you can have it back. If you're watching this, Dad, you can have this camera back if you want. The Canon AE-1 is a pretty simple camera. It does have a battery in it, which means that there is a light meter, and basically what that light meter is going to tell you is your f-stop that you should be at. So if you're at maybe say 1/1000th of a second shutter speed and at 400 ISO, you look through your viewfinder and it's going to drop the needle down. It's going to say you should be shooting this at f8. I typically kind of look around the scene and I figure what I actually want to expose for, and I make that my exposure, and then I manually adjust. You can also set, I guess depending on the lens that you have, you can set this to automatic as well, but I prefer to be a little bit more in control. And on this trip, this has been my black and white camera, so I have 400 Tri-X in it all trip. I didn't intend for that to be the thing, but that's how it ended up happening. And this 50mm lens, I feel like this is kind of the perfect kit. If you're looking for a first film camera, I would recommend going on eBay and finding one of these, or go to your local camera shop or ask a friend. There are so many of them out there in the world still, and it is a great way to learn photography. And that is all I have to say about the Canon AE-1. We're going to go back to the, I don't know what, it feels like a movie set with how not busy everything is. Although if it was a movie set, there would be craft services and 1,000 people standing over here and then emptiness. But right now, just nothing. Can I get a Hoya? Get it?
Did you see the camper? They flipped the bitch. That's a baby troll.
What's going on here?
The troll women look normal, but the troll baby is concerning.
Come to Iceland, practice your ski jumps. I'd like to take a moment here to talk about how messed up the pig is on the bonus logo. I've noticed it before. I've come home with bags because I think it's the greatest, but like, really, what's the story here? I'm gonna look it up right now. And if someone knows, please chime in the comments. I would love to know the story. According to the internet, it's just a drunken piggy bank. That's the story. I feel a little let down. We've just discovered that we've been here for about 6 hours and we don't actually know the name of the city that we're in. I think that you know, because I probably put the text when we entered this place, but Marshall's looking it up right now because we actually don't know.
Skagastrand.
Lying in a coma, dreaming about being home. Howling at the moon, somewhere in the woods I dropped. I get blood pressure on my back when you tell me I should pull up. I get. Tell me ain't some muscle pains when my plans get. I don't really mess with jungle cats. They never wanna see me while it's storming now. Oh, babe, what you said? Middle fingers, little mouse down. I get blood pressure on my back when you tell me I should pull up. Doing pull-ups in the park. Tell me should I fall, baby? It's loud as
This restaurant's phone number doesn't even exist. This is the fake TV phone numbers. No wonder there are no people here. This city doesn't exist. Marshall, unfortunately, you're gonna have to cook us lunch since there are no staff members working.
I already poured the beer, so.
All right. Well done.
No problem. I like Peeps.
Sour Peeps, though?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see you there. We are going to go on a bit of a photographic adventure over to the restaurant that we were at earlier. And it's open till 1 a.m., which seems insane to us because there is no one in this city. And I assume that means that the place just, it gets lit after 11. 11 to 1 a.m., I bet, is a full rave scene. They bring in Diplo, and they bring in Atari Teenage Riot as well, which is a bit of a reference that I didn't expect to make part of this video, but we did. Let's go take some photos. That's great. Couldn't tell you what happened to that film, but I actually kind of like it. These are photos that only my father-in-law, Ron Coulter, will appreciate. Everyone else is like, yeah, those boats. Ron will be like, I like that. That finishes off the Portra 800 roll. There are only a few frames left on that. I'm going to switch to a secret film that no one's ever heard about. The entire history of time, and no, it's not Portra 400. It is different than that. It's a 50 ISO film. I'm going to set 50 ISO right now. Otherwise, I'm going to forget. I'm going to shoot everything metered for 800. And now, the reveal of the secret film. What could it be? So we'll begin the process of photographing with this now. I have the first frame in mind already. Maybe I'll put this back in that canister. We woke the next morning to head to our last Airbnb for the entire trip. One more night. And I saw this beautiful image, and then I forgot that I had Cinestill 50D in there. That's just gonna make everything look like it's from the 70s, which is cool when you want it. Like right here. This is a great shot from 1975. The other shot with the water. One of those blues. And now, I can never have them. You're my boy, Blue. I bought this drink for Marshall, this collab, yesterday because I know that he likes strange and unusual drinks. I didn't realize that there are 105 milligrams of caffeine in it. And also there's fish collagen, marine collagen is what they call it. Caffeine, vitamins, and sweetener. 0 calories, but tastes kind of fishy. Are you going to finish your collab, or are you done with it?
It's kind of fishy.
Also stoked that our Airbnb came with this 1 of 1 edition Banksy. We waved goodbye to Spankin' U Hoff and headed on our way to the East Coast. Wait, the West Coast. Yeah. What have you been watching?
Horses.
Portra 800. Kind of cheating with this boat. It's obviously a tourist attraction, but it does look pretty good. And if you ever wonder where they got the name for Tinder, it's actually from this boat here in Iceland. You all know how I feel about wooden boats, especially wooden boats in nature. Check out my new Shutterstock portfolio. Here's more information about the boat if you're interested.
you know where I can get any magenta ink for my Canon Pixma printer? Oh, it's inkjet printer. Do you know where I can get it?
No.
Oh, convenient. It's right here. Magenta, that's what I need. Take your shoes off. Wow. We have a lot of square footage around the toilet area.
We've entered into a zone where it is just all rocks, that they're just scattered all up on the hill. So whenever the volcano went off, basically it just spewed all of these rocks out here. It's pretty crazy to think that all of these gigantic rocks are just flying through the sky at some point in history. You know what they say? When the pigs try to get at you, park it like it's hot. This is the last time I let you book a boat tour on Kijiji.
He said he was experienced.
Moving into the last day, after drinking a bottle of gin, we decided it would be a great idea to load all of the cameras with 400TX. So 400TX on the AE-1, 400TX on the Leica, and 400TX on the Fujifilm GA645. The only survivor was the Contax T3, which was still loaded with Provia. It's the last day of the trip, and Marshall has decided to only eat pasta and also demands that we can only listen to Taylor Swift 1989 on all 6 hours of driving today.
It's fearless.
After convincing Marshall that 1989 is in fact a better album, we headed off into our final day. That sounds too dramatic. Final day of the trip, not of life. We just arrived at a brand new waterfall. It's just been installed. They turned it on this morning actually, and it's the first one that is completely geothermal powered. So very good for the environment. And because it's day one, it's just like, it's really busy here. And here's the most professional moment of the trip. Not having any sort of ND filter for this GA645. So I took Marshall's. He has the Peter McKinnon 2 to 5 stop, and I took it, rolled it to 5 stops, and took this photo holding the filter in front of the lens, and I like it a lot. I didn't actually have a lens that was wide enough to capture that scene. And while I do enjoy hitting up the kind of those #1 tourist spots, I actually prefer things like this, just finding compositions off the side of the road. And I feel like there's more fulfillment, at least personally for me, in that than going to all of the spots that I've seen 1,000 times in other photos. And now I'll immediately contradict myself.
So Taylor, what are we going to be doing now that we've just completed the nice church photos?
So the church photos are done. I've taken 7 photos, and I realized that they're actually on my 90mm lens, and I didn't extend it, so the photos won't work at all, and I was going by the 35mm frame length. So let's go back to the car and do a few more frames.
I'm gonna wait here.
Can we just take a moment here to appreciate black and white film? Sheesh, am I right? And also that's the straight out of, or I guess not really straight out of, whatever, that's the scan that Richard Photolab gave me back. So yeah, we'll move on now. Brief stop on the film photography black and white tour. We're in Reykjavik, and we're going to get the best hot dog in town. It opens at 10 a.m. and we're here at exactly 10 a.m. And then we're going to go to the church to do some black and white photography of the church. And then maybe the most exciting part of the day. We're going to Lemon, which is a place that Grainy Days Jason, aka Baxter's dad, aka The Hammer, aka the Film Goblin, he says that this smoothie will change our lives forever. And we're hoping that they have avocados here in Reykjavik because they did not have avocados up in the north at the 2 Lemon locations that we stopped at. We're trying really hard to get this smoothie. Let's go get a hot dog. It's really important that you order the hot dogs with everything. It means fried onions, regular onions on the bottom, as well as remoulade, mustard, ketchup. I think that's it. It's a great breakfast. We've arrived at Elon Musk's space church here in Reykjavik, and we've realized it's Sunday, so it's a lot busier than it usually is. There were a few cars parked at the base of the church, so I figured the easiest way to make them disappear, not Photoshop, just hiding behind this bush over here. One of these was shot with a Leica. One of them was shot with a $150 Canon AE-1. Can you tell which one is which? Don't say E1. Did it. Resisting our urge to stop for second breakfast for a $45 Taco Bell, we continued to Lemon. We've made it to Lemon. Now the moment of truth, whether they have avocados or not here in Reykjavik. I'm hopeful. Oh my gosh, there they are. Good news. We're getting a free song while our smoothie is made. I had to sit down. And this is what our tour culminates with. Smoothies from Lemon. It's really good. He was right. It was worth the tour. I'm tagging Grainy Days, aka Jason, aka 50 Shades of Jason, aka the Film Goblin, on a photo of this. And I feel bad kind of doing it because it's just kind of bragging that we're, but he should know, right? I don't know.
He'll appreciate it. I think he really wants the world to know, to share in the energy that is
That's
Lemon.
fair, because if it gets big enough here,
right,
there would be a chance that probably LA would be their flagship location in the USA.
It's true.
So I'm doing them a service. We'll leave it at that. Full of smoothies, we headed to the airport. I packed my photography skills in my blue duffel bag. We headed to the lounge for the absolute worst pizza of the entire trip. There it is. One bite, you know the rules. It looks like pizza, but... Exit through the elaborate gift shop, and we're off. Marshall drinks 27 gin and tonics on the flight home. We see Greenland and eat these gigantic asparagus. Back to Greenland, back to asparagus in the sky, back to Greenland, and asparagus one last time. I honestly didn't shoot nearly as much as I expected to, and definitely not nearly as much as if I would have brought my digital camera. So yeah, off to the lab, and I'll have results in a few days, but you've already seen them, so it's no surprise to you. Thank you for joining us on this strange and unusual adventure. Please exit through the gift shop. There is a link in the description to the shirts that you saw throughout this video. Thanks to Richard Photo Lab for scanning everything, and that's all. See you next time.
Tried to forget you on a Friday night. Met someone who likes the bands I like. He leans in and I dash right. I miss waiting. I always wanted to be misunderstood, but I made someone and moved to Hollywood. Then I found myself for something good. What was me and